everyone, it's Haley, and today I'm going to be doing the Fairy Tales in Real Life tag. So I was tagged by Jesse the Reader to do this, and thank you very much to him for tagging me. I haven't watched anyone's videos doing this tag because I don't like to do that if I've been tagged in a video, because then like I just don't want to get answers from them. I want to come up with them on my own. So I was coming up with answers, and then I realized that they're all supposed to be contemporary books. So I had a whole list of answers, and then I realized that I had to do it all over. Also, there's absolutely no reason for me to be wearing black lipstick right now, but it is Halloween, so. Well, the day that I'm filming this video, it's Halloween. By the time this goes up, Halloween is past, and also I'm holding a wand because I was thumbnailing and I just never put it down. But yeah, let's get into it. Question number 1 is the fairy godmother, a motherly or fatherly figure that guides a misguided protagonist. And for this one, I went with Forgive Me, Leonard Peacock by Matthew Quick. I think that our main character in this book has encounters with a lot of fatherly figures and motherly figures that really try to help him. I found that this question was really hard to answer because I feel like in YA there's not a lot of really strong parental figures, so this one was kind of hard, but I feel like he does encounter some really strong parental figures, especially closer to the end, who are really there for him and looking to help him in his time of need, really. So, and he's definitely misguided, so I'm just going with this. Question number 2 is Prince Charming, a heroic character who takes on a quest for his love interest. And for this one, I went with The Cure for the Common Universe by Christian McKay Heidecker. I feel like the main character in this novel, this whole book, I think it's contemporary, and he's in video game rehab, and the whole time he's really just kind of questing to get on this date with this girl. And this girl has, it's the first time anyone has ever really agreed to a date with him, and he's just striving to get there and get out of rehab so he can actually be with her. And I think that it's really kind of the ultimate quest for a love interest. Number 3 is Forbidden Fruit, a contemporary trope of giving into temptation. And I think the ultimate book about giving into temptation is The Duff by Cody Keplinger. The main character really gives into temptation a lot, and you see her kind of grappling with that because it's really romantic temptation, and she's really interested in this guy, and she feels guilty for it. So I think you really see her kind of coming to terms with being comfortable with that, and you see that a lot in this book, but it's definitely about temptation. Number 4 is When the Clock Strikes Midnight, the contemporary trope of waiting for this impending moment that the story is just building up to. And for this one, I went with The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. This book really is kind of leading up to the moment of truth, I guess. It takes place really over a short period of time, and the main characters have this incredible love story, but the girl, she's about to be deported because she is an illegal immigrant, and it's kind of leading up to, will she be able to stay in America? Will she have to go? And it's just kind of a countdown to the end or the beginning of something new. So it's really just leading all up to this question that is burning under this whole novel, and it's just, that's kind of the moment of truth. Number 5 is The Big Bad Wolf, an antagonist so powerful that the protagonist feels helpless against them. And for this one, I went with My Heart and Other Black Holes by Jasmine Warga. I feel like there's not a really human antagonist in this. The antagonist is really depression and mental illness and kind of circumstances. So it's kind of just a circumstantial antagonist, and it's really something that the main characters feel so helpless against that they feel like the only way to escape it is to die, and I think that that is really the ultimate powerful antagonist. Number 6 is The Power from Within, a contemporary character who exhibits an unexpected power despite the fact that they believe that they're ordinary. And for this one, I went with no, that's not the title. I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. You have these two twins that really are grappling with all their own issues, and I think that they exhibit a power in the end that really helps them to overcome these issues, and I think that it's kind of the power of being siblings and friendship really that ultimately ends up saving them in the end. And don't get dramatic, that's not a spoiler. Number 7 is the grand ball, the contemporary trope of the protagonist finally having a moment of fitting in. And for this one, I went with Everything by Nicola Yoon. I feel like the main character has the ultimate moment of fitting in because they have been stuck in this bubble and their whole lives. Like, she is allergic to everything around her, so she's never been able to leave her house. But then she ends up meeting someone, and that's kind of her moment, I feel like, of fitting into society. And it's kind of the beginning of that moment of finding herself and feeling like she is a normal girl. Number 8 is Fairest of Them All, a contemporary pressure for outer beauty that challenges inner beauty. And for this one, I went with Dumplin' by Julie Murphy because that is really what this book is all about. It's about being comfortable in your own skin and really owning who you are and not putting so much pressure on yourself to look a certain way on the outside, because if you, like, even though you exude such confidence on the outside, you might be really struggling on the inside. So it's about really looking in the mirror and looking further than that and looking inside yourself and seeing if you are really happy with who you are, and if you're not, what you can do to change that. The Evil Stepmother, a character who invokes anger or resentment for stepping into another's role. And for this one, I went with Kath from Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I always say it wrong and you guys get so mad at me, but Kath really starts to take up the role of being an adult when, like, more of an adult than she should have to be at her age. And I don't think it, like, it's not really angering or, like, it doesn't really invoke resentment. You just feel bad and you feel like she shouldn't have to be in the role that she ends up fulfilling. The light has gotten so pink. What is happening? But anyways, but Kath really ends up having to take on a role that she isn't really comfortable with and she really shouldn't have to, and I think more than anything it's just kind of upsetting and disheartening. And finally is Happily Ever After, the contemporary belief in finding happiness and your happily ever after at the end despite the many struggles on the road to get there. So for this one, I went with The One by Kiera Cass. I know that this is technically dystopian, but I'm not reading this for the dystopian aspects. I think that's like the weakest part of it, and I know a lot of people feel the same. So just like putting that aside, this romance has been through so much, and the end, the payoff, the happily ever after is just so worth it. So that is all for the Fairy Tales in Real Life tag. Thank you once again to Jessie the Reader for tagging me. I'm not going to tag anyone specific because I don't know, I'm not prepared, but I tag you if you haven't done this. I tag you and I tag you and I tag you, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!